So, how you doing? Mike DeMora, NCEP Fitness, Redondo Beach, California. So last week, if you remember, right? Last week, I went over how basically you can get everything taken care of and become certified personal trainer for only $17 a month. That's right, $17 a month. Now, if you're doing the same thing with NESM, you're spending thousands and thousands, probably like $2,600 minimum to get the same thing that we're offering for $17 a month. That's $17 a month. So if you're paying more than $200 and some dollars every single year to be a trainer, wow, I'm not sure what you're thinking. We can get you a job with any of the major health club chains. We can get you an interview with any of the major health club chains. We are accepted, nationwide, all over the place, all major places, all insurances, all everything. So it just doesn't make sense to spend so much money on something that you're not sure about yet, right? So let me go to the next step. If you remember in last week's episode, basically I took you into becoming a personal trainer and getting certified and then getting a job at a local health club, right? So now here's some more of where the reality really hits. When you think about the reality of how much am I going to make? What am I going to do? How am I going to be this, right? It's all a numbers game. And I hate to say that, but it really is. Remember, they say that the most successful people aren't the people who just basically were given success. It's the one who are able to accept failure over and over and over again, right? There's an old saying about fail fast. Just keep failing, right? The idea is that nothing is a failure if you learned from it. And that's what I want to try to impress upon you today. So right here, okay, so we're gonna go over here and we're just gonna do some numbers, right? So remember, it's all about how much am I going to make as a personal trainer? And once again, I want to go over that with you. I can't tell you exactly how much you're going to make, and nobody really can. But remember, we had some basic, rules that are in fitness. So remember that when you get hired at a fitness club, let's just say they're going to give you 20 floor hours or 20 hours to basically meet with people and try to become that personal trainer that you've always wanted. Now, the idea is that you take them through a free session or a very, very low reduced price session to show them what it is that you do, to show them how amazing that you are, to show them that they can't live without you, or that they basically would be able to do so much more by working with you. Now, that is all about your knowledge. That's all about what it is that you're going to do with them, right? Are you a people person? Are you going to motivate them? Are you going to do that? Remember, even if they worked out with you one time every single day, which is not going to happen. No one's going to basically sign up for the 7-day-a-week program. But even if they did, do you realize that's only 1 hour out of 24? That's 1/24. That means what? There's 23 hours they aren't with you, right? So do you think your workout, right, is going to overdo bad sleep patterns, overdo bad eating, overdo bad this, bad thoughts, No, it's not. So we need to impress upon you that it's that hour that you're with them that you truly, truly want to change their mindset. Their mindset is the only thing that's going to be successful. Anyway, I'm going off track. Here's what I want to do is I want to throw down some real numbers with you, and I really want you to get this in your mind, right? Your mindset needs to be right. You are going to fail. Look at baseball, right? If you hit the ball safely 1 out of every 3 times, you are in the Hall of Fame. 1 out of every 3. You're world class, right? That means they fail 2 out of every 3 times. Think about that for a second. And they're Hall of Fame. You're not even needing to be Hall of Fame, right? Right now, you just need to get a wrap around what does this do, right? So here's kind of the idea. Now, let's just use some numbers. So your key is to what? Get an appointment. Okay, first you need to get something that works. Try black. The first thing you need is to get an appointment, right? You need to get an appointment with somebody. So here's the question. How many people are you going to ask before you get one person to say yes? Right? How many people are you going to ask before you get one person to say yes? So the idea is you walk up to somebody, hey, how you doing today? Oh, great to see you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I'm a trainer here. I really focus on, and you fill in the blank. What do you focus on? Focus on functional training. I want to get you to be able to move better, feel better, be able to lift better, be able to do things with your family. Does that sound good with you? I'd love to give you a free session. What's the answer? Well, it's only one answer, right? There's two possibilities, yes or no. Make them commit. Yes or no? Not maybe, not I'll see you later, not whatever, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going to talk to someone. No, you don't want anybody who can't make up their own freaking decisions, right? So you're already qualifying people. Yes or no? I teach this to my kids. There's no maybes. There's no oops. There's no whatever. Force them to make a decision. Yes or no? You can't stand fluffy people who can't make decisions. It's yes or no. So you walk up to somebody, hey, would you like a free session? Yes or no? Right? How many no's are you going to get before you get a yes? Give me a number. I don't know. Any number, it doesn't matter. How many? Do you think you're going to need to talk up to 10 people? Remember, these are people that are what? Walking in the club. These are people that are inside the club and ready to work out or in the process of working out or whatever else. How many people are you going to need? For the sake of this argument, can we say 10? Can we just use 10? Okay, you're going to walk up. That means you need to walk up to 10 people before you get what? One that says yes. So you're 1 for 10. Okay? So my question is, 1 out of every 10 persons going to say yes for a free session. 1 out of every 10. So how many people do you want on your schedule that week? Let's throw it out there. Let's say you're doing 20 prospecting hours, right? That means 20 hours a week of doing that. That means you're allowed to fill your books up to 20 more. Does that make sense? Just work with me on the math here. So you're working for 20 hours, right? And that means you have 20 hours open in a 40-hour work week. 20 hours open in a 40-hour work week. Okay, so you need to ask 10 people before you get one person that's going to what? Sign up for your session. 10 people to ask one person, right? Okay, so for you to get 20 hours, how many people are you going to need to ask? How many people? 20 hours. Well, if it's 10 for 1 hour, you're going to need to multiply times 20. That's 200 people. So you need to ask 200 people before you think you're going to fill your books just for the week. 200 people. Got it? Okay, that's your goal. Now, let's break it down. How many people do you think you're going to ask per hour, right? How many people are you going to ask per hour? Now remember, it's not like just running up, hey, you want to work out? No, oh, I want to work out. No. You got to get to know them, right? You speak to them. Hey, how you doing today? Oh, I love your shirt. Oh, where do you shop? That's fantastic. Oh, you're in great shape already. Have you ever worked with a trainer? What are your tips? What is it that you like to do? How is it that you keep coming to the gym all the time? I've seen you here a bunch of times. Oh, blah, blah, blah. What's your trick? What are your techniques? How do you like doing this? Blah, 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 blah. Do you have any friends or family that don't like to work out as much as you? Do you do this? Do you do that? We need to discuss, talk, develop a relationship. So how long is it going to take to make that relationship? Okay, let's just say it's 5 minutes. So if it's 5 minutes, how many is that per hour? If it's every 5 minutes, you're going to see another person. That means what? We got 12 people per hour. So let's round it up and just say 10, right? So every hour you're on the floor, you should make what? 1 more appointment. So for every hour you're on the floor, you're going to talk to a minimum of 10 people. And for those 10 people, you're going to get 1 to say yes every hour. Okay, so how many hours do you need to work before you're going to fill your 20? That's right, 20 hours. So we're looking at 20 hours of work until you what? Fill your 20 hours of appointments. Okay, now remember, during those 20 hours, you're making, let's just say, $10 an hour. So now your paycheck looks like what? $200, right? Because you're working 20 hours a week. You're making $10, 20 hours at $10 is 200 hours, $200 a week. How long are you going to be able to live on $200 a week? It's basically $850 or so dollars per month. Will that work for you? Now look, if it works for you, God bless, fantastic, wonderful. I'm glad you're living under that ability that you're able to live at $800 a month. But if not, what are you going to do? So I tell everyone who becomes a trainer that they should have 3 to 6 months of living expenses kind of put aside. Now, instead of putting those 3 to 6 month living expenses into your certification and spend your $1,000 on your certification, maybe you should save that living expense so that you can actually become a trainer and be able to live through it. Okay, now let's go to the next step. So remember, it's going to take you 20 hours to fill your books just with possible appointments. Okay, so that's 20 hours of work to get 20 appointments filled. Okay, now here's another next question. How good are you at sales? Are you good at sales? How many people will you close? Now remember, these are 20 people that you've already asked, do you want a free session? So if they want a free session, the only difference between them paying for a session is what? Is the amount you charge, and is what you do worth what it is that you're asking for. It's that simple. If let's say your sessions are $50, do you give $50 of value or more to be able to sell that? If you don't, that's what you need to work on. You need to work on your value. Also, you need to work on your sales proposition, right? Because you need to present this correctly. That's going to be another video, but I just want to try to keep this in your mindset. So many trainers get certified, they get on the floor, yay, I'm going to be a trainer now, yay. They told me I'm going to make $25 an hour. Yeah, but remember, you have to sell your training sessions to get that $25 an hour. If not, you're making 10. And they don't start you with 40 hours at $10 a week or at $10 an hour. They start you typically at 20. Typically. Now remember, everyone's got their own different program. I'm not talking for every single health club. I'm just telling you most the way they do it. So you have 20 prospecting hours to try to fill your books, to try to create them into training sessions. Now remember, if you take those 20 people and you sell those 20 people, now you're making $25 an hour. And now for that same 20 hours of work, now you're making $500. Okay, now we're getting a little better, right? We're getting a little better. Okay, so here's what I want you to focus on. What are you going to do with your time on the floor? How are you going to meet a minimum of 10 people? And of those 10 people, how are you going to convince them to do a free personal training session with you? That's what I want you to focus on. It's all about the discussion. It's all about talking with them. It's all about learning that rapport. That's part one of our whole program, right? That's part one of our program. I will come back with you for another video and really help you out with the next steps. As for now, have a great day. We'll talk to you next week. God bless.